Hi,
Uh,
Christian. How are you?
Hello. Very well, thanks. How are you?
Good. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Where are you right now? Where's your set?
I'm in Ossining, New York, actually. This is my home in New York.
Really? You're from Iowa, correct?
Originally,
Yeah.
yes. A long time ago, but yes.
I'm your neighbor here in Wisconsin, believe it or not.
Lovely.
Yes, it's been home for a long time. I don't know. I've been going over your IMDb credits and just a whole host of work, just blown away. But 20 of those titles are just some highbrow stuff. Working from Hannah and her sisters, Big Lebowski, some classics. I don't know. There's so much to ask, but then I don't want to go into specifics on every film. How would you consider yourself a character actor, or is that the best way to put it?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what I'm comfortable with. Yes, I'm always playing. I think if the world is divided into leading men and character actors, I'm a character actor.
I'll take
So
it. You
there
know,
you go.
I'm reading William Goldman's book right now, which is fascinating.
Oh, it's a great book. Yes.
It really is. It's a
Yeah.
nice read. And I
Yeah.
just read Al Pacino's biography recently, and that Sonny Boy, if you get a chance, it's really,
Mm,
really nice. It's nice
yeah.
when you can read a book on the industry that isn't too dry, and Goldman really, he works with
Yeah.
words. Can you
He's
talk?
very smart. Yes.
Oh my goodness, and it's amazing read.
Mm.
Can you talk a little bit about the 10-year-old in you and how you started out in drama and or acting?
Sure. Um, I when I was a kid, I loved doing plays,
Mm.
pretending, imagining things. I grew up in rural Iowa and in an, essentially we weren't farmers, but we lived outside the city.
Mhm.
So I had a lot of time by myself. I did a lot of reading, I did a lot of imagination play. And I think that's one of the things that sort of contributed to it. I just spent a lot of time just pretending to be
Yeah.
things. Um, and although it didn't seem possible that someone from a small town in Iowa could become an actor because I just didn't know the way forward. There it wasn't anyone in town who said, "Oh, you want to be an actor? You should do
Right.
this."
Right.
So it I didn't even consider it. It
Yeah.
seemed so unlikely that it wasn't even a serious consideration. So I always just did it because I enjoyed it, and it continued. I went away to boarding school for high school,
Hmm.
and I did a lot of plays there. And again, it was sort of a way to sort of cope socially. I think I was always quiet and shy, and theater was a way for me to, become close to people in a way that I wouldn't give myself permission to
Right.
otherwise.
Right.
Um, and and then it sort of started to dawn on me that like uh, it is possible, that I could see a path for me to become an actor.
Yeah.
Um, it just still seemed very unlikely. But once I was at this, I went the boarding school I went to was called Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts, and that's sort of when I began to realize that there was a way to become a professional actor.
Wow.
Um,
Did John
I,
Irving go there as well? Because I know that.
no, John Irving went, I think, to Phillips Exeter, which is another one. It started by the two brothers started two schools, Exeter and Andover, and I
Aren't
think
you
they went
impressed
together.
that came to me out of nowhere? I mean, I'm a big fan
Very
of
good,
Prayer
very
for
good.
Owen Meany is one of my favorite
Yes.
books.
Oh, he's fantastic,
Uh,
just fantastic.
Cider House Rules.
Oh,
So much of that. But did you see a good friend of mine from high school as a filmmaker? And he did a film with Sean Penn called The Assassination of Richard Nixon, um, going back 20 years now, but he just came out
hmm
with the film. But he's pals with Alexander Payne. And
yeah.
Did you see the latest Giamatti film? You know, the one
Yes.
the Schoolmaster.
Right. Right.
I don't know why I love that kind of stuff where not a
I
lot
know.
happens,
Yep.
but Giamatti, where the hell, would you ever have foreseen he could be the force he is now? I mean,
I know.
I he started out in, Liar Liar or whatever it was, some big blue liar. And I love watching an actor develop. I think Sideways was his, you know,
Yes, that was a big. Yeah, I mean Giamatti, his father was a professor of Italian literature, I
yeah,
think,
commissioner of baseball too.
commissioner of baseball, which is kind of an amazing thing, and then
Yeah,
died tragically very young.
yes.
And and then he went to Yale Drama School, which I also went to.
Okay.
Um, and that was an interesting choice because I think with he could have done anything in the world he wanted to, and that's what he wanted to do. And I believe his brother, he has a brother, Marcus, I
I
think
don't
was
know.
his name, and I think he also went to the drama school. I could be wrong on that, but
Doesn't
yeah,
have the leading man face, but I mean, I respect him immensely, but I'm surprised how, a man that isn't pretty does so well, as a leading man. And I do consider him a leading man, of course,
I
right?
think he is. I think he is. Yes, I mean he's managed to sort of cross that divide, and
Yeah.
he, in I think like in Billions, he's a leading man.
Yeah.
It's an anti-hero of sorts, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yes. I mean, the movie. What was the name of the movie that he did?
I'm
That he
damned
just.
if I can remember it.
I know,
Put me on the
but see,
spot.
that was very much my experience. That was very much like the high school that I went to.
Yeah.
Um,
Did
even to the.
Holden Caulfield go there as well, Christian?
Oh no, the school that he went to was fictitious,
Oh, it
and
was. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I
No,
have to
but
tell
James
you, I'm a
James
late
Spader
bloomer with some of those
went.
classics. I was amazed by how damn good that book was. I only read it a year or two ago, and I was like, damn. Because, classics are those that they say everyone wants to have said they read but never read it. And I read that book, and I thought Salinger was way ahead of his time. That stuff was pretty cutting edge
I
for,
have to say I've not read it since high school,
please
but
do. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
inhale it again. But
Yeah.
when I see working with the Coen brothers, I was talking to Robert Wool, the actor, the other day,
Hmm.
and I said, hands down, the Coen brothers for me are the finest filmmakers that ever lived. I mean, I love, and he got a little, oh, this, and this. But I think when you can show the breadth of interest, the variety, the humor, the tragedy, the horror, I mean, I don't know anyone else, correct me if you not correct me, but give me your opinions. But what was it like working with those guys? I hear they're interesting to work with, great, but interesting. Can
I
you
love them. I completely love them. They I knew them before I worked with them. They
really?
Fran McDormand
Sure. You get to
is
call her Fran, is that it?
Franny. Yes.
I
Uh,
admire Fran very much.
Franny and I we're at drama school at the same time,
No kidding.
and I met. I was at a party where she met. Um, which Cohen brother is it?
Joel, I get him
Is
confused.
it Joel?
I
Is it
think
Joel or
so.
No? It's Ethan. It's I don't know.
The
Anyway, the
the
tall
more
one.
handsome one.
The tall one. Yes. Yeah. Um, and yeah, and that was before I did Lebowski. And I just there's at their heart they're from Minnesota.
Yeah.
They're from suburban Minneapolis,
And
and that's
Fargo showed that,
yeah, exactly.
they knew it.
They certainly had an understanding for it that
Yeah.
was
Well, I saw
really.
Blood Simple when it came out, and
Oh,
Blood
I did
Simple
too.
was, riveting. And to Fran, I'll call her Fran now too.
Okay, there you
I
go.
love Fran in Three Billboards. I
Yep,
thought she
yep,
was amazing in The Man Who Wasn't There.
yep,
She's done so much stuff that, and was it Nomad? I think
yep.
that's what it was. I mean,
Nomadland. Yeah.
yeah, she is. I mean, everything she's done has been, even her little almost cameo in Raising Arizona. I love that
Oh, I
she's
know.
an
Dip
amazing
tet,
actor.
dip tet,
I
going on
you
and
gotta
on
get your
about
dip tech.
tet.
Oh, that little baby's gotta get his dip tech. Have you seen a film called Joe? with Nicolas Cage.
No,
I just got chills thinking about it.
no.
Please write this one down. I wouldn't
Okay.
watch Nicolas Cage maybe in Moonlight or Moonlighting. No, what was it? Moonstruck? Moonstruck, but he did a film called Joe. You will thank me after watching this. It's not Nicolas Cage. It's like he took an acting pill or something. It is the most viscerally disturbing film. There's a scene in there that I can't even describe. It just sends chills through you. But it's a very simplistic Nicolas Cage who has a lot of talent, but I think he's, squandered it in many ways. But take my advice on that, Joe. And it's a very under the radar film. But when I look at some of the things you've done, Heartburn, NYPD Blue, but ER to me, I was going to write a book, only nobody wants to read it, is on the casting of ER. Now, my wife and I binged it a couple of months ago, and I know we're a little late bloomers, but I have been struck by the people who cast that show were spot on hundreds of times. I'm not talking about just the main actors. I'm talking about the tertiary actors, the smaller actors.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you,
the casting director of that, oh God, and I can't remember his name, John something. He's a fantastic casting director, and he's cast me in a lot of
really,
things. Yeah.
what is
John,
it?
what?
What does a
I
good
can't remember.
casting director have? I know Bonnie Timmerman a little bit, but
Bonnie is Bonnie is a great casting director. She is a challenge and she's difficult, but
she's
she's a great
hatched a
casting
lot of
director.
actors, though. I mean,
Oh
she,
yeah, she has fantastic taste, and she is she's very passionate.
yeah,
But oh my God, her office was run so crazy. It was
really.
She was notorious for having actors wait for 2 hours, 3 hours,
Hmm.
or more in and the union rule is that an hour you get an hour, but you can't keep an actor after an hour. And invariably, you would go to a Bonnie Timmerman audition, and it would be 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. It was just
Yeah,
couldn't believe it. But you put up with it because the projects she did were always fantastic. She worked
yeah,
with great directors, and she really had really good taste.
yeah.
That's what makes a great casting director: someone who recognizes good acting and can think creatively about a role and what how an actor can fit into it.
But I really think, that's an innate quality, and that, I don't give myself much credit for anything, but I've spotted quote unquote stars when they were young, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just that intangible. You're like, mm-hmm. You want to say the it factor, but I hate
Yeah,
that. Just like,
yeah.
I saw Reese Witherspoon in Racing with the Moon. I saw, some of these kids you see, and Christian Bale when he was in Henry V,
Mm-hmm.
Broadway's version of Henry V.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that, in a perfect world, I would have done something like that. But working with Woody Allen, come on, how was that?
Oh, he's an odd one. He is the that was also cast by a really great casting director who just passed away. Um, and I can't think of her name. Oh, she was, and her her influence is still felt because all of these casting directors that she trained
Yeah,
are now big casting directors still working in the business. Juliet Taylor was her name. Juliet
Julia
Taylor.
Taylor.
Oh, great casting director. So I went into a meeting with her in Woody's office, and winter, and I had a big winter coat on, and I walked into the office, and I hadn't even gotten my winter coat out, and I was just it was just down my shoulders, and Woody steps out into the waiting room, and he comes over to me and offers his hand, and my hand is stuck in my coat, and I
Sure.
sort of we sort of shake, and he says, thank you for coming in. Juliet tells me that you're an interesting actor, and I just wanted to meet you and see how you would fit. And I really appreciate you coming in. And that was the end of it. And I turned around and I was so flustered. I did not know which door to exit. So I opened a closet door and then found the correct door and walked out. And I was in there for all of 45 seconds.
When he hired you?
Yeah,
I think there's a
sure
lot
did.
to that. The reason I got in touch with you because I didn't know the breadth of your career was broadcast news.
Uh-huh.
And to me, you are memorable in that scene. I don't think they're going to make it. And
Mhm.
I find it interesting with David Zucker is kind of a friend of the guys behind Airplane and Naked Gun and that. But when
Mhm.
you can have something, a quote from a movie, is it ever gratifying to you to know that somebody knows your work in that realm, or is it just, hey, it's
Yeah,
another gig?
it's nice. No, it's nice. It's
That was a great
definitely
scene.
nice.
I mean, Holly Hunter was
Yeah.
amazing, and I'm not going to ask you how it was to work with her, but was there ever an actor that you worked with that you were not blown away by, but wow, I'm really impressed that I'm acting with this person, or a little bit of I think Louis
Oh,
Casey. I don't know if
m-
you had any
you
scenes with him,
know,
but he's
Meryl. Meryl is, you know,
who was
Meryl.
in what
Meryl
film?
Streep.
Heartburn.
Heartburn. Yeah.
Meryl Streep.
Um.
Did you see
Yeah.
her do with the SNL thing? I thought that took a. I loved her for doing that
Yeah.
SNL.
I know. That was
That just
funny.
showed
That
to
was
me the
great.
finest actor, I guess you say, female actor of, I think, ever to do
Mm.
that. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
She did that film with Greg Kinnear and Matt Damon. She showed, the one Stuck on You, or Stuck on Me.
Yeah.
I thought that just showed a woman who was so comfortable in her own skin.
Yeah.
She went out of her, I just thought it was brilliant. And
Yeah.
I think that, I have much more, you know, Masters of Sex was something I enjoyed greatly. Did you get one role on there, or were you recurring, or what'd you do?
I think I did two episodes on that. I remember the only thing that I remember about that is that I had a detached retina through the. I was doing that, and I did the O.J. Simpson miniseries. Uh, I was doing those two jobs at the same time, and I had a detached retina, so that I had to lie on my side like this
Hmm.
for like 50 minutes out of every hour. And it was the weirdest experience. That's all I can say, is that it was just a very strange experience.
That's
That whole period is all I can remember, is that lying on my side and then getting up to do a scene and then going back to this.
So I will let you go soon.
Mm.
Jeff Bridges to me is one of my favorite actors. I think True Grit, he was amazing in. I think he was, Crazy Hearts, one of my favorite films. Did you have a chance to get to chat with him a little bit on
I
Lebowski? Or was
I love Jeff Bridges. I've
yeah,
worked with him twice. I worked with him on Lebowski and The Fisher King,
right?
and he he is very special. I also worked with his dad on a television
No
series.
kidding.
Yeah, a
Lloyd.
television series called Capital News, and Jeff uh, Jeff has this camera. It's a 180 degree uh, uh, mechanical film camera that
Hmm.
he has. It's not digital; it's
Right.
film. Although nowadays maybe he's using a digital film, but uh, uh, and he will take pictures on the set while he's working, and then he goes through the pictures and he prints them up into a book and he gives them out as gifts.
I think I've seen it. I think I've seen it. Is there,
Just
I mean,
really
number
great.
one, if I ever make Truman Capote, I'm casting you. Is just closing. Do you see yourself doing this kind? Do you have intention to direct? Do you write?
No, no.
Just
my
happy.
that's not my I have sat down in front of a laptop and a blank screen and I've attempted to write things, and it's not me. I can't, um putting words together. Uh I can write papers. In college I was great at writing
Right.
papers and things like that, but I cannot write dialogue. I can't write plot. None of that is of interest to me.
But
And
that's interesting.
yeah, and directing is not. No, that is. Acting is really. I have a very lucky guy. I have found what I am good at and
Yeah,
what I love to do.
that's
And
wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
staring at
really.
that blank screen is rather intimidating. I'm a great idea guy, but I struggle with story sometimes. I have great plot. I mean, it's something. I'm at the stage now where I'm going to leave all that to Caesar. I'm done with all that. It's just, the odds of getting a film. If I could write, I could write the finest script ever now. The odds of getting it made are infinitesimal. So
Oh, it's very. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of writers,
Yeah,
and it's a very it's a very weird time that the
no,
business is in right now. So
especially,
it's
yeah. I mean, it's not what we remember, I think. I think, well, it's a
no,
crazy business. I mean, it's nothing that, I would want to do with, well, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for spending a little time with me. I'm a
sure, happy
big
to.
fan of your work,
Thank
and
you.
I'll always remember a lot of the work you've done. Thank you so
Great.
much, Christian, for spending a little time.
Please,
I
my
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Thank you.
Of course.